My love for Japanese car has always been there since my first car I learned how to modify was a Japanese car. My name is Sean Lee. I drive a 1991 Acura NSX. I came to the States when I was 14. During that time, I ran away from home when I was 17, and I worked in McDonald's, I worked as a delivery boy, and later on, I started working for my current company as a salesman, and I worked my way up. Today, I'm semi-retired. I just play around with cars and enjoying life. I owned this 1991 Acura NSX for about 10 years. Why is it so special? Because this is the first car that ever have aluminum monocoque chassis in the 1990s. The whole car is made out of aluminum. And to make the driver have better visibility of the road, the cockpit area they actually copy off F-16 fighter, which is also one of my favorite jet fighter as well too. And on top of that, one of my favorite racer, I think probably everybody's favorite Formula One racer was Senna. And they actually had his opinion on developing of the NSX. Back in 1990s, Porsche had the 964, Ferrari had the 340A, and in terms of technology-wise, nobody is able to compete with the NSX. This is, back in the day, was the cheap supercar. This compared to a Ferrari, they both are main engine rear-wheel drive, and the NSX has a slightly longer wheelbase, so it drives much smoother on long trip, and it makes it handles excellent even in a tight and twisty road, which is quite surprising. And the power delivery and also the reliability is phenomenal. I mean, I had this car for 70,000 miles and it's rarely have any issue at all. It's got unique history in the car world. For a while, nobody really noticed it because it's a Japanese car. And now people are like, wow, that's why the value went up so much recently. I enjoy just driving this car all over the place. I enjoy taking it to the racetrack. I enjoy taking it to the canyon. So stock suspension's limit gets plateaued really, really quickly. The stock suspension on the NSX is very, very high. So when you're going through corner, you have a huge amount of body roll. With KW suspension, I'm able to run one size bigger on the wheels. Therefore, it's a thinner tire walls, and also it reduced the body roll dramatically. Also, I lowered my car, so my center of gravity is actually much lower. Makes the car far more aggressive on the front end turn in, and also creates a lot of stability while you're doing a high-speed corner, which is something that this NSX did not have before. I haven't been beating on them all day long and been to the track many times, been to the canyon almost every week, and they took the abuse very well. I mean, it's a 1991 car. 30-some years later, you can still be reliable taking it to the track and have fun with it, and able to drive home safely and reliably, and that's phenomenal. So I personally don't think modifying a classic car is any issue as long as you use the correct brand of parts. So if you use a lot of cheaply made parts, you actually depreciate the purpose on why the car was built. Older cars like this are more focused on mechanical grip. It relies on suspension, and of course, the driver inputs is also very important. They're pretty focused driver's car. It takes a lot out of you to drive those cars fast. Of course, when you modify the chassis and the suspension on cars like this, you get a lot more enjoyment out of it. With the KW suspension on there, it creates a better looking stance and also better handling for my NSX. Therefore, it brings out the character of the car and its chassis a lot more than it was stock. So for me, I think this particular modification, it actually added value onto my NSX. I get quite emotional when I drive my NSX, especially during sunset. I love driving this car through the canyons during sunset time. I'm able to enjoy the car and be one with the car. And in this case, the suspension modification really helped me to be connected to my car and create that moment for me.